at Calceus, that's one of the really strong drivers to our business, is we see our connected health products as being fully solid state. We will always put a device, we will always put the machine learning algorithms and the connectivity into the package.
Hey everybody, today I'm going to introduce you to a director of an Australian company that has developed not one, but two world first wearable devices for people suffering from cardiovascular disease and diabetes. After years of development, both products will now be seeking FDA approval this year and are forecast to be in market in the US next year. If timing in business is everything, you're going to love this story. We're just going to walk to each other.
Oh, there it is now. Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry, I'll just do it again. You want the eye contact first?
you always step to the left.
I do.
Come in, shake each other's hands,
cool.
and then just look at camera. Let's do it one more time.
One more time.
On camera. Okay. There we go.
I think you did it on purpose. That's good.
Okay.
So back to the beginning.
So you were telling me that this was all your idea.
Well, not 100% my idea, but it was through a client I had through the Australian government program that was doing a rather innovative piece of tech in sort of measuring feet and displacement of ankles and feet for orthotics. And it was at the time I said to him, have you ever considered putting some sensors in there and making the orthotics smart? Because if you're a runner or you're a walker, you want to kind of know that. I mean, the watch can measure cadence, but something inside your feet could have pressure, could have heat, all sorts of things on it. And of course, we all kind of, that's not a bad idea, but the sort of addressable market for that is pretty competitive. You'd have to get the runners off their watches and try and pitch to a new market for some value add. And then we discovered the diabetic, and the diabetic is they have a terrible byproduct of their disease, which is called peripheral neuropathy. Essentially, the extremities of the body, the hands and the feet, begin to lose feeling, and particularly in shoes, these people are usually quite large. They develop blisters in their feet. The blisters turn into ulcers. The ulcers turn into an amputation. Sadly, we lost Bert Newton a little while ago for exactly that problem, where his ulcers had become to a point where he had to have an amputation. And so the ability to monitor a diabetic's feet in real time, measuring not just the heat and also the pressure that's going on inside the shoe or on the inner sole, but with the technology that we've pioneered, we have the ability to measure the shear, shear is like, rubbing your hands together. It's the thing that creates the heat. And from that heat, obviously you get the hot spot with the blister, and then from the blister to the ulcer. So the beautiful thing about SensorSkin's technology is that this sensor sits idly inside anyone's shoe and is wired up to a Bluetooth connector. The Bluetooth connector talks to the phone talks to the AWS network, and we get real-time data from that patient's feet to the clinician in real time. And so we can really monitor what's going on inside their shoe at any given time.
I want to make sure we're capturing all of your face, so I might just pull that back a little bit. Let's stay on that theme. We were talking about the technology itself. I don't want to misquote, but I understand that the good people at Logan Hospital have been using the technology and they've described it as a game changer. Why do you think they're so excited about this?
Because I think now, when they have a patient that they're treating with a blister, and typically that's what happens, you end up in hospital with blisters, your ulcers. Now they put you in a moon boot and they send you home, and you've got to be careful. We put a number of sensor skins across their moon boots, and we're giving them real-time data on their patient's well-being outside the hospital environment. So
wow. And they're monitoring it externally wherever that patient may be.
Correct. So the patient can go home. We know precisely what's happening with the patient's feet at any given time, and that's great for that sort of clinical, post-clinical care, and also the ability to alert the patient that there are issues and that they need to either rest or take themselves back to the hospital to get treated. Yeah.
I love that. It's so important. We were talking earlier about the proliferation of wearable devices. We're all very comfortable wearing some kind of smart device on our watches now, and it's telling us basic things like whether we should stand and whether we should walk and how many steps we've done. But if you're suffering from cardiovascular disease or you're suffering from diabetes, understanding those changes in what's going on in your body could actually save your life, couldn't it?
Oh, totally. And look, that's the I think that we're in one of those environments where everything that's kind of good in this space is incrementally getting better. So once we got the networks, once we've got the mobile phone, we've got the networks, and we can now develop the device, because the device is the most important thing. How do you gather the data, and how do you transmit that data, and how do you make that work? And I think at Calceus, that's one of the really strong drivers to our business, is we see our connected health products as being fully solid state. We will always put a device, we will always put the machine learning algorithms and the connectivity into the package. And so exactly what we've done with the sensor skins product is build a very, very good device that is unique in what it's able to do, and then connect that to the network. Same thing with Vibe. What we've been able to do there is use sound audiology to actually put sensors on people's skin to listen to their heart valves, listen to their arteries, listen to the rate of blood that's being moved in and out of the bigger chambers of the heart, put that into a machine learning and AI algorithm, and alert the patient and the clinician that something's not right. And so this generation we've got to now is exciting, and it will evolve, because now that we're monitoring, which is what our products are principally doing now, we're monitoring people's current state. As we build up our database, and as our data sets get larger and we have more data in the system, so we can get into that really good area of diagnostic. We can start to see real issues before they actually occur, and then of course the next phase from that is the predictive analytics that we get that will alert certain people with their certain lifestyle habits that they're heading towards one of these kind of really debilitating diseases.
So there's a really exciting technology roadmap for Calceus, which is obvious. But you've got two products that exist today where the technology has been verified and works, and now both those products are world leading, I think it's fair to say, in terms of their competition, and are now on track to seek FDA approval in the US. This is a major milestone.
Oh yeah, look, it is the market of all markets to get to. It is the high watermark for markets in terms of connected devices. Not only is obviously the population first world, but health issues are quite profound in that community. So the charming thing for us from a commercialization point of view is that we've been at this a couple of years down here. We've done the work. We've had to do the hard yards around the tech. Clem, he's got a medical manufacturing premise up at Clontarf. It's world class, like fantastic to find something like that in Queensland. He's a very, very gifted production guy. He's developed some fantastic technology. And we're obviously, we're doing our verification and validation trials with it, but we know the product works in an environment like we found at Ipswich Hospital. And now we're just down to the point of just how can we verify that what life for an inner sole in someone's shoe is going to look like over 6-12 months. So that's the process we're at there. And the good thing for both products, though, is as we head to the American market, if you're starting from scratch with the FDA, it can be a very, very long process. Luckily for us, there's a thing called a predicate, which is someone has done something similar before you, and that kind of opens the way for us. There are a couple of products that are in the market in the sensor skin space, but nothing like what Clem's done. No ability to measure shear, and most of them have got wires hanging out the side of the boot. So this is a very sophisticated piece of technology, but the predicate that we've got from the FDA means that we can be in production probably mid next year in the US market, which is really, really exciting for the journey we've been on. And likewise for the Vibe product as well. There are definitely products that are measuring, have got algorithms that are measuring heart performance. But again, we've got into a completely different area using completely different data in a very, very different way. And having the device plus the algorithms plus the network makes it a really powerful proposition. So we see both products in the US market in the middle of next year.
It's very, very exciting. And so if you project forward a little bit, and it's always difficult to do this and anything could happen, of course, but where do you see a potential liquidity event or an exit opportunity for investors who might come in this round?
Well, I think, we're doing a small raise now, simply to get us to that last stage of arriving in the US market. And then it's pretty common over there, once you've got some run rate and some traction, to get a fairly large Series A up and running. And it really then is a marketing job, Have we got product market fit? All right, now we need business model market fit. So what's the process around that? And that's where you do need to get a fair old bow wave of cash in behind you. But look, I think on just the numbers of this product alone, I mean, if you took the heart measuring algorithms and said it's $10 a serve, the amount of clinical work with patients in the US, that'd be a $140 million business in its first version. So it doesn't take long for these things to really turn out to be unbelievable cash cows in terms of their ability to generate sustainable reoccurring income. And that's the other good thing about this, is that once it moves into a clinical space, it becomes part of that environment. It becomes very, very sticky. So I would say to investors that are looking at Calceus is that it's a 3 to 5 year, nothing more than, because there will be either a big acquisition, something is going to mop it up, or we'll list the company and be creative with it. I mean, one of the things that I think has been charming about our Calceus model is when we cracked the algorithm and the network and the machine learning model for sensor skins, we realized that that whole stack could be photocopied. And that what we could really do is we could begin to take lots of connected health devices, use exactly the same frameworks, exactly the same platform, and retrain our algorithms to do different jobs and report different things. So look, potentially, Harry, who's got a very good background in this area, has other algorithms where we can measure heart valve failure. There's a whole bunch of things coming down the pipe, and I'm sure there are many other people that have got devices that could look at us and go, gee, I wouldn't mind being part of their ecosystem, because the tech's there, the market's there, the distribution and the money's there. So
there's a number of potential pathways to liquidity. One could be acquisition, one could be Calceus as the acquirer, potentially obviously using different technologies. And of course, Series A, Series B, future larger growth funding rounds often provide an opportunity for investors in earlier rounds to step aside at a different price. So there's always a number of pathways, I think, for liquidity that
totally
present themselves.
And look at Canva's journey. I mean, there are a number of investors there that decided to take the money and run, and it was seriously good money. So you actually can't blame them, can you?
Yeah. I mean, often people will say, how long before a merger, acquisition, or a listing, but they're not the only pathways to liquidity. So I think it's worth sort of keeping that in mind, particularly where the business is on an upward trajectory and has more value to realise.
Yeah, totally. And look, I think the other thing is that it's almost the why now of the connected space. Like Uber's why now was the smartphone. You couldn't have done Uber without the smartphone. So we've reached a real shift in the market, and the ability to put this technology together now that we couldn't really do in the past. So it's going to bring a completely new generation of connected health devices into the marketplace. And you can almost see the sort of transformation it's going to have on health, where data and collecting data in real time and analyzing that data is going to become everyday. And so, I think as we spoke previously about it, the concept that the railroad was ideally believed to be the money maker for the companies that built it, and it turned out to be the money maker for the companies that used it. And I think in this instance, the state of technology now is a robust network with unbelievable scope going forward, and now it's up to the inventors and the crazy people and the people that could really push the edge to make it work.
Yes, the people we love.
But it's a massively big market.
It sure is.
And if you'd said to me 5 years ago, I'd probably have gone on a bit early, but now I think it's quite hot.
Right. And if the timing in business is everything, then this is a very exciting story.
You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
No, it's
we're
great.
really excited about the work you guys are doing. We believe that the growth of wearables for preventative healthcare is a really, really important trend. And we're really excited to see great innovators working in this space and amazing investors stepping up to back those companies. Because ultimately, yes, there's an investment opportunity here, but the impact on people's lives, if you've got cardiovascular disease or diabetes, could be extraordinary, and that's a legacy I want to leave. So thank you. We're playing a small part, I think, in that journey for you, and I hope that it's a great success for you in the US.
No, it's good, and look, thanks for that. You've been great to work with, and we've really enjoyed it. But I also think that ethical point's strong. I mean, I'm an investor because I like what we leave behind. Right. These are good, meaningful products that will actually change people's lives. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you mentioned that. Thank you so much. We're just going to walk to each other. Moving.
Oh, there it is now. Okay.
So, hey, Rob, is there anything on your mind that you said, oh shit, we should have...
Sorry, I'll just do it again.
Yeah,
You want the eye contact first? So I got the points out I wanted to get out.
You did?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
You always step to the left.
I do.
Come in, shake
Yeah,
each other's hands,
cool.
and then just look at camera. Let's do one more time.
One more time.
On camera. Yeah. There we go.
We win camera. Let's do it.
That's great.
Great.
Okay,
Well done.
great.
Easy.
Awesome.
I think you did it on purpose. That's good.